These zodiac signs will win 10 million from February 2nd to 8th. Weekly horoscope. From February 2nd to 8th, the energy field of the week will change the financial dynamics for several zodiac signs at once. It is during this period that a rare breakthrough will occur, when accumulated opportunities will begin to materialize into concrete results. And today, I will reveal who will come close to winning 10 million, who will receive the most powerful impulse towards money, and why their energy trajectory is capable of shifting reality right now. This is not a coincidence or luck without a cause. It is the result of deep processes that have been forming over the last few cycles and are now reaching their peak of influence. I will show which signs will experience a financial breakthrough, where the channel of power will open, and which decisions will enhance the effect of this week. Before we get to the main point, tell me your sign in the comments. I will add a personal tip for your energy for this period. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new predictive analyses that help you use powerful dates as effectively as possible. Aries. Between February 2nd and 8th, a rare financial configuration will form for Aries, which will differ sharply from the usual fluctuations in income. This is not a story about small profits or gradual growth. We are talking about a large-scale financial breakthrough that can manifest itself in a win, a large one-time payment, a sharp jump in capital, or unexpected access to an amount that previously seemed unattainable. 10 million during this period is not an image or an exaggeration, but the maximum potential that Aries is approaching through their own determination and willingness to act without delay. For Aries, this week begins with an inner impulse to take risks, but not chaotic ones, rather calculated ones. There is a clear sense of timing, when exactly to agree, sign, press, bet, or say a quick yes. Financial luck only works in conjunction with instant reaction. Any hesitation, doubt, or attempt to shift responsibility to others reduces the scale of the result. That is why it is important for Aries to act independently, without asking for permission or waiting for approval. This week's financial channel opens through specific instruments: lotteries, raffles, contests, bonus programs, large deals, investment decisions, debt repayment, or compensation. For some Aries, the theme of random choice will work, where the result is determined by one action out of many. For others, it will be precise calculation and cold logic that will lead to sharp profits. In both cases, confidence in one's own decision without the need to explain it to others plays a key role. The period from February 2nd to 8th also highlights Aries' strength, the ability to quickly take responsibility for large sums of money. Where others feel fear of scale, Aries feels excitement and clarity. This is what allows them not to miss the chance in the moment. Money comes not as a gift, but as a response to an inner readiness to manage a large resource. If Aries has long been thinking in terms of large numbers, this week becomes a point of material confirmation. The first 3 days of the period play a special role. At this time, signals may appear in the form of unexpected offers, calls, messages, or opportunities that at first glance seem secondary. In fact, it is these that trigger a chain of events that leads to maximum financial results. It is important not to underestimate the small details and not to postpone decisions until later. Aries acts as straightforwardly as possible this week, and this becomes an advantage. There is no need for complex schemes or lengthy negotiations. A clear position, concise wording, and no compromises on key issues. All this attracts money faster than diplomacy. Even in situations where caution is usually required, this time, boldness yields greater results than restraint. Parallel to financial growth, your inner sense of self-worth changes. Aries stops lowering their expectations and no longer settles for good enough. An inner standard of greatness emerges, reinforced by real experience. This standard becomes the basis for further financial decisions after the week is over. It is also important to pay attention to physical condition. High financial flows require energy, so Aries should avoid overwork and sudden emotional outbursts. A clear routine, control over impulsive spending until the main amount is received, and avoiding conflicts with loved ones will help you stay focused on the main thing. Money this week loves composure and inner stability, even if events are developing rapidly on the outside. For many Aries, this period is a turning point in their financial thinking. What previously seemed to be the limit of their capabilities is no longer so. A clear understanding emerges. Big money is not a coincidence, but the result of an inner permission to have more. It is from February 2nd to 8th that this permission moves from the level of thought to the level of real experience. After this week, Aries will not return to the old financial scenarios. Even if 10 million does not materialize in the literal sense, the very scale of events, sums, and opportunities changes the trajectory of movement. This is a period that sets a new bar for income and a new level of personal power with which Aries moves forward. Taurus. For Taurus, the period from February 2nd to 8th will open up a different financial reality in which money will come not through impulse or chance, but through accumulated resources and a correctly taken position. This week, a mechanism for a big win will be activated, where 10 million will be the result of a long-term internal focus on stability and control. This will not be a sharp jump without support. On the contrary, events will unfold in such a way that Taurus will feel complete control over the process and a clear understanding of why such a scale is opening up right now. February will generally be a month of financial concentration for Taurus. From the very first days of the month, there will be a feeling that the outside world is adjusting to their pace. The rush will disappear and be replaced by clarity, when to wait and when to take what is theirs. It is during this period that an event related to big money, winnings, a significant sum, or a material decision that dramatically increases income will take shape. For Taurus, this will seem logical, even if it seems incredible to others. The cash flow this week will be activated through structures where rules, conditions, frameworks, and strict adherence to agreements are important. Taurus will find themselves in an advantageous position precisely because they will not violate any points and will not try to artificially speed up the process. 10 million during this period will come as a result of endurance, not risk. Where others lose patience, Taurus will remain calm, and that is what will provide a financial advantage. In the middle of the week, there will be a moment that will require a final decision. This may be related to documents, financial choices, participation in a large project, a lottery, or a monetary opportunity, where it is important not to change your decision at the last minute. Taurus will act confidently, without hesitation, and it is this stability that will be the key to maximum results. This week, money will favor those who do not hesitate after making a choice. March will be a month of consolidation for Taurus. What opens up in February will not dissolve or disappear, but will begin to work for the future. That is why the events from February 2nd to 8th will have a long-lasting effect. Even if the winnings or large sums come in several stages, Taurus will clearly know that the process has already started and cannot be stopped. This will change their inner attitude towards money. The fear of loss will disappear, and a feeling of financial stability will appear. In April, Taurus will feel the first wave of real comfort from this breakthrough. There will be an opportunity to allow themselves what was previously postponed or seemed impractical. At the same time, there will be no wastefulness. On the contrary, money will be used wisely, with an emphasis on quality, safety, and long-term benefits. This strategy will allow you to preserve and multiply the resources you have gained. The week of February 2nd to 8th will also change Taurus's social status. Those around them will begin to perceive them differently, as a person who is respected and whose opinion is listened to in financial matters. This will open up additional opportunities in May and June, when new proposals related to resource management, investments, or large material projects will appear. The beginning of all this is February. Your inner state will play a special role. Taurus will not be emotionally unstable during this period. On the contrary, there will be a feeling of inner calm, which will allow you to clearly hear beneficial signals and cut out everything unnecessary. This is not intuition in the classical sense, but experience and the ability to recognize reliable opportunities amid the noise. That is why the decisions made this week will be as accurate as possible. In financial terms, Taurus will enter a phase of maturity. 10 million will become not just a number, but a symbol of the transition to another level of material responsibility. There will be an understanding that big money requires a calm mind and a clear system, and Taurus will be ready for this. All actions will be calibrated, without chaos and without rash steps. July and August will show how right the path chosen in February was. It is during these months that it will become clear that the events of February 2 to 8 laid the foundation for long-term financial stability. Taurus will see how one action or one decision changed the trajectory. This will give them inner confidence and peace of mind, which cannot be bought with money, but which often come with it. This week does not require Taurus to make loud statements or take demonstrative steps. On the contrary, silence and focus will be their main allies. Money will come to those who do not scatter their attention and do not try to prove their importance. During this period, Taurus will simply take their place, and that will be enough for the financial flow to reach its maximum level. Gemini. From February 2nd to 8th, a different type of financial formula will begin to work for Gemini, one that is dynamic, mobile, based on rapid exchange, information, and the proper use of contacts. This week, money will not come quietly or gradually. It will appear in streams, conversations, messages, numbers, signals, news, and coincidences that seem random at first glance. It is in this form that Gemini will have the opportunity to win or receive a sum that could reach 10 million. February will be a month of acceleration for this sign. Already at the beginning of the period, Gemini will feel that the pace of life is rapidly increasing, and the number of events per day exceeds the usual norm. In this flow, it will be important not to stop and not to try to control everything strictly. A financial breakthrough will occur where Gemini allow themselves to be flexible, adapt quickly, and make decisions without excessive analysis. It is the lightness of thinking that will open access to a large sum. Information will play a key role this week. One fact, one message, one number, or one phrase heard in passing can set off a chain of events with a monetary outcome. Gemini are able to read such signals faster than others, and between February 2nd and 8th, this ability will reach its peak. Winnings or large financial results will be linked to the correct use of data rather than physical effort. March will show the first results of February's surge. What begins as a quick opportunity will receive material confirmation in March. The receipt of funds, the recording of winnings, official registration, or a clear understanding of the amount. For Gemini, this will be a moment of inner surprise at their own accuracy. There will be a feeling that everything has turned out exactly as it should, without struggle or tension. Financial success during this period will not be tied to a single source. On the contrary, money may come from several directions at once, creating a cumulative effect. It is this multi-channel approach that will allow you to achieve the maximum figure. Gemini will not focus on one option. They will work with several opportunities in parallel, and this is what will ensure scale. April will be a month of realizing a new level. After the events of February, Gemini will begin to assess their own value and opportunities differently. Their thinking style will change. Pettiness will disappear, and strategic vision will appear. Money received earlier will begin to work as an instrument of freedom. Choices will appear, and attachment to limitations will disappear. This will affect not only finances, but also the rhythm of life in general. In May, the theme of partnerships will be activated. People who appear after the February breakthrough will play an important role in further growth. Some of them will come with ready-made proposals, while others will respond to Gemini's new status. During this period, it is important to remain selective and not spread yourself too thin. A big win will open doors, but the decision of who to let in will determine the future direction. June will show that speed is this sign's main ally. What Gemini does quickly will be beneficial. What they start to put off will lose its relevance. That is why, throughout the period after February 2 to 8, it is important to remain light-hearted in your decisions and not return to old doubts. Money in this cycle does not tolerate hesitation. Special attention should be paid to financial literacy. In the second half of the year, particularly in August and September, Gemini will begin to actively rethink their income structure. They will want not only to have a large amount of money, but also to distribute it correctly. It will then become clear that the February breakthrough was only the beginning of a larger process. October and November will sum up the year in a material sense. Gemini will see how one event in early February affected all the following months. There will be a feeling of inner freedom that does not depend on external circumstances. A 10 million in this context will become a symbol of the transition to another level of thinking, not just a sum. Throughout this period, Gemini will remain in their element, movement, exchange, dialogue. This is why the financial flow will not be blocked. Where others stop, Gemini continue to move, and this is what allows them to stay ahead of the moment and get the most out of it. This week will lay the foundation for a new model of life, where money appears as a result of quick thinking and correct decisions. Gemini will no longer return to old limitations, because the experience of a big win will change their internal reference point. Cancer. Between February 2nd and 8th, a financial reality of a different nature will begin to take shape for Cancer, one that is deep, hidden from prying eyes, but extremely effective. The financial impulse will not manifest itself immediately in an open form, but it is during these days that a mechanism will be launched that will lead to a large win or access to a sum that could reach 10 million. For Cancer, this process will unfold not through noisy events, but through internal decisions, family issues, personal agreements, and a well-chosen moment. February will be a month of hidden changes for Cancer. From the very first days, there will be a feeling that something is brewing, even if everything looks stable on the outside. It is during this period that Cancer will begin to treat money differently, not as a tool for survival, but as a resource for security, influence, and freedom. Financial opportunities from February 2nd to 8th will be related to inheritance, real estate, family assets, closed deals, or decisions that are not made public. Intuitive confidence will play a key role for this sign. Cancer will not seek external confirmation and will not need advice. Decisions made during this period will seem simple, but they will lead to significant financial results. 10 million in this configuration will not appear by chance. It will be a logical continuation of actions that Cancer has taken before, often without attaching much importance to them. March will show the first material changes. What was laid down in February will begin to manifest itself in the form of specific amounts, offers, or changes in financial status. Cancer will feel that their position is strengthening and their dependence on external factors is decreasing. It is in March that a sense of control over the situation, which was previously unattainable, will appear. In April, the topic of money will be closely intertwined with the topic of home and stability. The resources or winnings received will allow you to resolve issues that have been put off for a long time. Housing, the safety of loved ones, large purchases, or long-term investments. For Cancer, this will not be a demonstration of wealth, but the creation of a safe space where you can calmly plan for the future. This approach will allow you to preserve and multiply your results. The week of February 2nd to 8th will also change Cancer's attitude toward risk. If they previously avoided drastic steps, they will now act cautiously, but without fear. Their financial intuition will work as accurately as possible, telling them where to stop and where to go all the way. During this period, money will come to those who are not afraid to take responsibility for their loved ones and are ready to think in terms of long-term benefits. May will open up new horizons. After February's breakthrough, Cancer will begin to look at opportunities more broadly. Ideas related to business, investments, or expanding sources of income will appear. Even if they do not plan to take immediate action, the very presence of choice will be an important internal shift. Money will cease to be a source of tension and become a planning tool. In June, it will become noticeable how the reaction of those around them has changed. People will begin to take Cancer more seriously, especially in financial matters. Their word will carry weight, and their decisions will have consequences. This will open up access to new agreements and closed opportunities that were previously unavailable. It is during this period that an additional cash flow may appear, reinforcing the results obtained earlier. July and August will bring a sense of inner peace. Cancer will no longer rush or prove their point. They will focus on preserving what they already have, and this will be the right strategy. Big money in this cycle does not require active pressure. It stays with those who know how to hold on to it. It is this skill that will manifest itself most clearly in Cancer. In the fall, especially in September and October, it will become clear that the events of February were a turning point. Financial stability will allow Cancer to change their lifestyle, reduce their dependence on external circumstances, and focus on their own goals. There will be an opportunity to give up what no longer brings benefit and keep only what really works. November and December will sum up the material results of the year. Cancer will see how a series of decisions, made quietly and without unnecessary publicity, led to a great result. 10 million in this context will become not just a sum, but confirmation of the correctness of the chosen path. This will change the internal point of support and allow you to look to the future without fear. The period from February 2nd to 8th will cement Cancer's new role as a person who knows how to protect, accumulate, and multiply. Financial success will not be accidental and will not disappear as quickly as it appeared. It will become part of a new reality in which Cancer will feel confident and calm, regardless of external changes. Leo. From February 2nd to 8th, Leo will see the activation of the financial zone of direct realization of ambitions, where money will appear as a result of recognition, authority, and a correctly occupied position. This will be a period in which the material result will directly depend on how boldly Leo allows itself to act from a position of strength. A large sum, capable of reaching the level of 10 million, will be associated not with hidden processes or random circumstances, but with an open demonstration of influence, status, and readiness to take on leadership. February will be a month of confirmation of their own significance for Leo. From the very first days, there will be a feeling that attention is focused on him. People will listen, react, and wait for decisions. It is in this context that a large-scale financial opportunity is forming. Money will come where Leo does not diminish himself and does not agree to secondary roles. Between February 2nd and 8th, any attempt to be more modest or to step into the shadows will diminish the potential outcome. This week's financial momentum will be directly linked to public decisions, reputation, personal brand, or a role that Leo has long held but has not previously used to its full potential. This could be a win, a large payout, a bonus, a major deal, or a situation where Leo finds himself at the center of events and reaps the maximum benefit. In this case, 10 million will be the result of a correctly stated position, not a compromise. March will show that February's breakthrough was not a one-time event. It is this month that Leo will begin to realize how his financial horizon has changed. Opportunities that were previously closed or seemed not for him will become available. The scale of thinking will change, and with it, the amounts Leo will be willing to work with. Financial confidence will be cemented through concrete actions and results. In April, the focus will shift to management. Leo will begin not just to receive money, but to control the processes that generate it. This may relate to business, investments, management decisions, or influence over other people's financial flows. It is during this period that it will become clear that the large sum from February was not a random gift, but a consequence of the ability to take responsibility for scale. The week of February 2nd to 8th will also change Leo's attitude toward risk. They will act boldly, but not impulsively. All decisions will be dictated by an inner sense of the right moment. Leo will not doubt their right to a big result. It is this inner confidence that will become a magnet for money. Where others hesitate, Leo will already be acting. May will open a phase of expansion. After a financial leap, there will be a desire to scale up what has been achieved, enter new markets, raise rates, change the rules of the game. Leo will begin to think in terms of influence, not just profit. This will lead to new sources of income that will strengthen the results achieved earlier. It is this month that people may appear who are ready to invest in Leo as a figure, not just in a project. June will show how important the February position was. This month's financial decisions will be based on the status already achieved. Leo will feel that they can dictate terms rather than adapt. This will change the dynamics of any negotiations and agreements. Money will start to come more easily, without the need to prove or justify anything. July and August will bring a sense of stable strength. Leo will not chase every opportunity, but will choose only those that match their level. During this period, it is important not to waste energy on minor tasks. A large financial flow will be maintained where there is focus and strategy. This is what will allow you to retain and multiply what was gained at the beginning of the year. In the fall, especially in September and October, Leo will face the consequences of their own decisions in a positive sense. The events of February will have a long-term effect: new opportunities, stable income, and expanded influence. There will be an understanding that the chosen path was correct and timely. This will strengthen inner confidence and allow you to move forward without fear of loss. November will be a month of reviewing financial priorities. Leo will begin to clearly understand which sources of income are key and which are secondary. This will allow them to optimize their energy expenditure and focus on the most effective areas. It is this concentration that will ensure stability even in changing conditions. December will sum up the year in material terms. Leo will see how a series of decisions made from a position of strength and self-respect has led to financial growth. 10 million in this context will become a symbol of allowing oneself to live, and act on a grand scale. This will cement a new internal standard to which Leo will no longer refuse to return. The period from February 2nd to 8th will define a new starting point for Leo. Financial success will not be a coincidence or a temporary surge, but the result of a clear position and a willingness to be at the top. It is from this moment that money will begin to match the scale of Leo's personality, and not vice versa. Virgo. Between February 2 and 8, Virgos will benefit from financial logic and precision, where the decisive factor will not be the scale of actions, but their impeccable correctness. The financial result will be formed not through pressure, publicity, or risk, but through a perfectly constructed sequence of steps. It is during this period that Virgo will find herself in a position where one timely action will open up access to a large sum of money, capable of growing to the level of 10 million. This will not be a flash in the pan, but a clearly defined result. February will be a month of internal discipline and external rewards for Virgo. Already at the beginning of the period, there will be a feeling that the world is beginning to respond to her attentiveness, professionalism, and ability to see what others miss. It is attention to detail between February 2nd and 8th that will play a key role. Where someone else might not read, check, or clarify something, Virgo will do it automatically. And that is what will lead to a financial breakthrough. This week's financial event will be related to accurate calculations, documents, figures, conditions, or rules that must not only be accepted, but also perfectly executed. For Virgo, this is a natural state, so she will not feel any tension. On the contrary, there will be a feeling of control and clarity. A large sum will come as confirmation that the system works if it is not violated. March will be a month of material confirmation. What was laid down in February will begin to take shape in the form of concrete money, bills, income, or clearly recorded financial results. Virgo will see that her approach, without haste, without emotion, without unnecessary words, has had an effect that exceeds expectations. This will change her attitude towards her own value and how much she can actually earn. April for Virgo will be marked by stabilization. The money received earlier will not disappear or create chaos. On the contrary, it will be organized into a clear structure. Part of it will go toward security, part toward development, and part toward reserves. This month, Virgo will feel that finances are no longer a source of anxiety, but have become a planning tool. This inner relief will become more important than the amount itself. In May, the theme of professional recognition will be activated. After the events of February, those around Virgo will begin to see them as someone who can be trusted with complex financial processes. This will open up new opportunities, additional contracts, offers, invitations to projects that require precision and responsibility. Even if Virgo does not accept all of these options, the very fact of having a choice will be an indicator of a new level. June will show that the right strategy allows you to conserve energy. Virgo will not be overloaded or feel exhausted, even though financial flows will increase. This will be possible thanks to the clear allocation of time and resources. Money in this cycle will not require sacrifices. It will come in response to consistency. It is in June that Virgo will finally be convinced that they can earn more while spending less energy. July and August will bring a desire to optimize life in general. The financial breakthrough since February will allow them to review their lifestyle, routine, expenses, and even their social circle. Virgo will begin to consciously remove everything superfluous, leaving only what really works. This will apply to money, people, and obligations. It is this clarity of structure that will allow you to maintain great results without losses. In September, it will become clear that Virgo has reached a new level of control over reality. Decisions will be made faster, but without mistakes. There will be an inner confidence that any financial task can be broken down into parts and solved. This will lead to new opportunities in management, analytics, or leadership roles, where the reward will match the level of responsibility. October and November will show the long-term effect of February's decisions. It is during these months that Virgo will see that the large sum was not a coincidence, but a logical consequence of correct behavior. Financial flows will become predictable, which is more important to Virgo than any excitement. There will be a feeling that the future can be planned without fear of sudden losses. December will end the year in a state of inner composure. Virgo will sum up the financial results, not emotionally, but soberly, with a clear understanding of what exactly brought success. 10 million in this context will not be a loud number, but an indicator that the system works. This will cement a new standard of living, where stability and high income do not contradict each other. The period from February 2nd to 8th will be a turning point for Virgo, where attentiveness will turn into capital. Without sudden movements, without loud statements, without risks, she will be able to reach the level that others have been seeking for years. The financial success of this cycle will not require proof. It will be evident in the results and felt in the inner state. Libra. From February 2nd to 8th, Libras will enter a financial period where the key factor will be the right balance between profit and decision. Money at this time will not be the result of pressure, struggle, or persistent promotion. On the contrary, a material breakthrough will occur where Libra takes the position of an arbitrator, a mediator, someone who knows how to bring the interests of different parties together. It is through this ability that the path to a sum capable of reaching the level of 10 million will open up. February will be a month of precise choices for Libras. Right at the start of the period, a situation will arise in which you will have to choose between several options, each of which will look attractive. Libras will not rush, but they will not drag their feet unnecessarily either. A decision made between February 2nd and 8th will have financial consequences for months to come. The ability to reject the less profitable option, even if it seems safer, will lead to the best result. This week's financial flow will be related to contracts, partnerships, legal issues, resource allocation, or situations where it is necessary to fairly determine shares. Libras will find themselves in a winning position because they will be able to see the whole picture, not just individual fragments. 10 million in this configuration will be the result of the ability to negotiate so that all parties are satisfied. But it is Libra who will receive the key benefit. March will bring a sense of confirmation that the choice was correct. This month, the financial results of February's decisions will begin to manifest themselves. Income, payments, winnings, or fixed amounts that were previously only potential. Libras will feel that their approach, balanced, cool, without extremes, has allowed them to avoid mistakes and at the same time not lose scale. April will be a period of stabilization for Libras. After a financial breakthrough, the perception of those around them will change. People will start to listen to Libras' opinions, especially on matters of money, cooperation, and strategic decisions. This will create additional opportunities, even if Libras are not actively seeking them. The very fact of trust will open the door to new sources of income. May will activate the theme of expansion. Libras will begin to think more broadly than before and allow themselves to make plans that previously seemed too ambitious. The financial results of February will serve as internal proof that a high level is not a risk, but a logical step. This month, new agreements are possible, with Libra acting as a key figure between several parties. June will show how important it was to take your time. During this period, it will become clear that those who acted impulsively lost some opportunities, while Libras preserved and multiplied their results. Financial flows will stabilize, and the feeling of control will increase. Money will cease to be a source of tension and will begin to be perceived as a tool for balance. July and August will bring the opportunity to enjoy the results without fear of loss. Libra will not flaunt their wealth, but will allow themselves comfort, quality, and freedom of choice. It is during these months that it will become clear that financial success can be calm and stress-free. This will be an important internal discovery. In September, Libras will return to the active phase of decision-making, but from a different position. The experience of a large sum of money will change their approach to agreements. Libras will no longer agree to terms that do not match their level. This will lead to another financial growth, although not as sharp as in February, but stable and predictable. October and November will consolidate a new lifestyle. Libra will begin to clearly feel the line between what is worth their attention and what only takes up time. This will allow them to optimize financial processes and focus on the most profitable areas. Money will come easily during this period, without the need for constant control. December will be a month of internal reflection. Libras will realize that the financial breakthrough from February 2nd to 8th was a turning point. 10 million in this context will not be just a sum, but a symbol of the right balance between desire and reason. This will cement a new sense of confidence in the future. Throughout the period after February, Libras will move along a path of balanced decisions where every step makes sense. Financial success in this cycle will not require struggle or sacrifice. It will be the natural result of the ability to see balance where others see only extremes. Scorpio. From February 2nd to 8th, Scorpio will enter a period of profound financial transformation, where money will appear not as a reward for diligence or as a result of compromises, but as a result of an inner readiness to manage large flows. This will be a time when material opportunities will sharply exceed the limits of habitual experience, and the amount, which could reach 10 million, will be a logical continuation of decisions made without emotion, but with maximum concentration. February for Scorpio will have the character of hidden power. Events will not require unnecessary words, demonstrations, or explanations. Everything important will take place in a small circle, or even in the inner space of decisions. It is between February 2nd and 8th that Scorpio will set a limit for themselves, what they are no longer willing to tolerate in the financial sphere, and what level of income they consider minimally acceptable. This internal fixation will be the starting point for rapid growth. This week's financial breakthrough will be related to control, management, influence, and the ability to keep the situation under control until the very end. Scorpio will not act impulsively and will not reveal their plans. It is precisely their secrecy and strategic silence that will give them an advantage. During this period, money will come to those who are able to wait and strike at exactly the right moment. March will be a month of results. What was started in February will begin to materialize in the form of specific sums, access to resources, or situations where Scorpio will have a decisive influence on the financial process. There will be a feeling that control has returned to their hands and dependence on external factors has decreased. This will change not only their income level, but also their internal state. In April, the financial theme will be intertwined with the issue of control over one's own time. The resources obtained will allow Scorpio to abandon what no longer makes sense and focus only on profitable areas. It is in this month that it will become clear that money is not a goal, but a tool that gives freedom of choice. This position will strengthen the result and allow losses to be avoided. May will activate processes of expansion, but not through quantity, but through depth. Scorpio will start working with larger sums, higher stakes, and more serious partners. Even if it looks calm on the outside, the processes will be large-scale on the inside. 10 million in this context will cease to be the limit and will become a benchmark for further action. June will show that Scorpio's financial strength lies in its ability to cut out the excess. It will not be scattered on small opportunities and will not agree to conditions that do not correspond to its level. This will allow it to conserve energy and keep the financial flow stable. During this period, money will come not through activity, but through the right selection. July and August will bring a period of consolidation. Scorpio will feel that they no longer react to financial fluctuations as sharply as before. A cool confidence and calm attitude towards large sums will appear. This will be an indicator of inner maturity, which attracts even greater opportunities. It is during this period that a new source of income may appear, related to the management or control of other people's resources. September will open a phase of strategic planning. Scorpios will begin to think not in terms of months, but years ahead. Financial decisions will become more long-term, but also more profitable. The experience of February's breakthrough will allow you to avoid mistakes and act from a position of strength. Money during this period will work as a tool of influence, not as an end in itself. October and November will show that the right decisions do not need justification. Scorpio will see how their environment has changed and how respect for their words and actions has grown. Financial issues will be resolved more quickly and agreements will be clearer. And this will create conditions for further growth, but on a different level. December will sum up the year in a state of complete control. Scorpio will realize that the path begun in February has led to stability, strength, and independence. 10 million in this context will not be a peak, but a confirmation of the ability to manage large resources without losing inner balance. This will form a new foothold and allow you to look to the future without fear. The period from February 2nd to 8th will be a moment of financial rebirth for Scorpio. Without loud statements, without ostentatious gestures, and without unnecessary risks, they will enter a phase where money obeys not chance, but will. It is from this moment that material reality will begin to correspond to the inner strength of Scorpio, and not vice versa. Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, the period from February 2nd to 8th will be a moment of financial expansion due to space, scale, and going beyond the usual boundaries. Money during this period will come not from focusing on the small stuff or controlling every step, but from the courage to think bigger, allow yourself more, and not limit yourself with old ideas about what's possible. It's this broadening of horizons that will be the key to a sum that could reach 10 million and change your financial trajectory for years to come. February will be a month of breakthroughs for Sagittarius due to new opportunities. From the very first days, there will be a feeling that life is offering options that previously seemed too big or too distant. Between February 2nd and 8th, Sagittarius will not cling to old models of earning money. They will allow themselves to go beyond the familiar, and it is in this step that they will receive a financial boost. A big win, or a significant amount of money, will be related to travel, international contacts, education, business expansion, or participation in projects with a wide audience. This week's financial dynamics will require faith in your own vision. Sagittarius will act based not on guarantees, but on a sense of the right direction. It is this strategy that will allow them to be in the right place at the right time. Money during this period will not come to those who choose safety, but to those who are ready to take a step into the unknown with a clear inner goal. March will be a month of consolidating confidence. What begins to take shape in February will receive material confirmation. Specific income, winnings, offers, or results that can be measured in numbers. Sagittarius will see that their optimism and ability to see the big picture have paid off. This will change their attitude toward money as a limited resource. A sense of flow will appear. In April, financial issues will be intertwined with personal freedom. The resources obtained will allow Sagittarius to abandon commitments that have held back their development and choose a freer format of life or work. It is in this month that it will become clear that money can be not a burden of responsibility, but a tool for expanding opportunities. This internal discovery will reinforce the result and allow them to move forward without fear. May will activate new directions. After the breakthrough in February, Sagittarius will begin to notice opportunities where they previously passed by. And these may be new markets, new formats of cooperation, or non-standard ideas that previously seemed too bold. The financial results this month will be a direct continuation of what was laid down in February, but on a different scale. June will show that trusting in life was the right choice. During this period, financial flows will become more stable, and the feeling of chaos will disappear. Sagittarius will understand that it is not necessary to control everything at once. It is enough to stay on course. This is what will allow them to preserve and multiply what they have gained without losing their inner balance. July and August will bring a period of active use of resources. Sagittarius will not accumulate money for the sake of possession itself. They will invest in experience, development, new knowledge, and broadening their horizons. It is these investments that will return in the form of additional opportunities and new sources of income. During this period, money will begin to work as a catalyst for growth. September will open a phase of realizing the scale of change. Sagittarius will see how far they have come from where they were at the beginning of the year. Not only will their financial situation change, but so will their level of thinking. They will develop the ability to assess situations strategically without getting bogged down in minor difficulties. This will allow them to make decisions quickly and confidently. October and November will bring the opportunity to influence the financial processes of others. Sagittarius will find themselves in the position of a mentor, leader, or guide who sees the way and can show it to others. This will open up additional financial flows and enhance their status. Money during this period will come through trust and reputation rather than through direct efforts. December will be a month of taking stock in a broad sense. Sagittarius will realize that the financial breakthrough from February 2nd to 8th was the beginning of a new cycle of life. 10 million in this context will cease to be just a number and will become a symbol of freedom of choice, movement, and the ability to live at your own pace. This will cement a new inner resilience and allow you to look to the future with confidence. The beginning of February will change Sagittarius's very perception of money. It will no longer be perceived as something difficult or restrictive. On the contrary, financial success will confirm that expansion, belief in one's path, and willingness to take risks at the right moment can lead to results that exceed expectations. From this moment on, Sagittarius will begin to live in a reality where great opportunities are the norm rather than the exception. Capricorn. Between February 2nd and 8th, Capricorns will develop a financial axis of power based not on chance or luck, but on endurance, reputation, and the ability to go the distance. Money during this period will come as a reward for years of well-behaved conduct, emotionless decisions, and an inner readiness not to give up even when results were delayed. It is during these days that a real opportunity will arise to receive a sum that could grow to 10 million. And for Capricorn, this will seem not like a miracle, but like a natural progression. February will be a month of recognition of actual power for this sign. Events will unfold in such a way that Capricorn will find themselves in a position where their experience, consistency, and cold logic will be the main argument. Between February 2nd and 8th, a step will be taken that was previously postponed due to excessive responsibility or doubts about the timing. It is this step that will start the financial process that will lead to a large sum. Capricorn will act without haste, but with complete confidence in the correctness of the chosen moment. The financial result of this period will be related to structures, hierarchies, long-term agreements, management, or decisions where reputation is important. Capricorn will not fight for attention and will not prove its importance. It will already be obvious. That is why money will come where there is stability, reliability, and the ability to take responsibility for large amounts of resources. 10 million in this configuration will be the result of trust. March will consolidate the material effect. This month, Capricorn will see clear financial confirmation of the correctness of February's decisions. Income, contracts, winnings, or access to resources that were previously unattainable. There will be a feeling that the financial ground beneath their feet has become more solid and the future more predictable. This will change their inner state and allow them to think even more broadly. April will be marked by structuring. Capricorn will not allow money to create chaos. On the contrary, they will clearly determine what to spend money on and where, which areas need development and which should be closed. This month, financial discipline will become the main advantage. Money will not just appear. It will start working for long-term results. In May, the theme of status will be activated. After the events of February, Capricorn's perception by managers, partners, or influential people will change. Their position will strengthen, and their word will carry more weight. This will open up additional opportunities related to large projects, leadership roles, or participation in strategic decisions. Even if Capricorn does not take advantage of all the offers, the very fact of their appearance will be an indicator of a new level. June will show that stability can be combined with growth. During this period, financial flows will not be sharp, but will become more constant. Capricorn will feel that they no longer have to prove their effectiveness. The results speak for themselves. This will reduce internal pressure and allow them to act more calmly, but even more accurately. July and August will bring a period of inner confidence. Capricorns will stop doubting their right to large sums of money. There will be a clear understanding that high income is not a coincidence, but the result of systematic work. During this period, additional financial strengthening is possible through assets, investments, or decisions made without haste, but with full awareness of the consequences. September will be a month of strategic planning. Capricorn will begin to look at finances from the perspective of years rather than months. Plans will emerge related to scaling, transferring responsibility, or laying the foundation for future generations. The financial breakthrough of February will be perceived at this point as a starting point rather than an end goal. October and November will show the power of endurance. Where others may lose their bearings or succumb to fluctuations, Capricorn will remain stable. This will allow them to maintain and multiply their results even in changing conditions. Money during this period will favor predictability and clear rules, and Capricorn will be able to provide just that. December will sum up the year's financial results in a sober manner. Capricorn will evaluate not only the amount, but also the quality of the changes, the level of control, calmness, and absence of chaos. 10 million in this context will become a symbol that patience and strategy can bring results without losses. This will cement a new internal standard and allow you to enter the next year from a position of strength. the period from February 2nd to 8th, will be a moment of material confirmation of Capricorn's path. Without loud statements, without sudden movements, and without unnecessary risk, they will be able to reach a level that corresponds to their real value. Aquarius. For Aquarius, the period from February 2nd to 8th will be a point of sharp change in financial logic, where money will begin to come in not according to the rules of the past and not through familiar schemes. This will be a period in which the decisive factor will be the ability to act unconventionally, stay ahead of events, and see opportunities where others are not yet aware of their existence. It is during this period that a channel for significant material results will open up, capable of reaching the level of 10 million. And for Aquarius, this will seem like a natural consequence of their different way of thinking. February for this sign will be characterized by a breakthrough in thinking. In the first days of the month, Aquarius will feel that the old financial constraints no longer work. There will be an inner readiness to abandon familiar ideas about stability and allow themselves to think bigger. Between February 2nd and 8th, a decision will be made or a step will be taken that previously seemed too unusual or risky. It is this unusualness that will be the source of a large sum of money. The financial momentum of this period will be linked to innovation, technology, new forms of collaboration, the online space, collective projects, or non-standard sources of income. Aquarius will not act alone in the traditional sense, but it will set the direction. Money will come to those who offer ideas, models, or solutions that are ahead of their time. 10 million in this configuration will be the reward for the ability to see the future before others. March will bring a sense of confirmation. What looked like an experiment or a bold move in February will begin to bring concrete financial results. Aquarius will see the numbers, facts, income, or winnings that will remove any doubts. This will change their attitude toward their own ideas. They will realize that unconventionality is not a weakness, but the key to big money. April will activate the theme of scaling. Aquarius will begin to expand what already works, not by increasing efforts, but by involving other people, systems, or platforms. It is in this month that financial results will begin to grow faster than the resources invested. There will be a multiplier effect when one right idea begins to generate income from several directions at once. In May, the social environment will change. After the February breakthrough, Aquarius will begin to attract people of a different level of thinking, those who are ready to think globally and act quickly. This will open up new financial opportunities related to collective decisions, investments, or joint projects. Money during this period will come through interaction, not competition. June will be a month of stabilization amid instability. Aquarius will learn to feel confident even when processes remain fluid. Financial flows will not be linear, but the overall vector will remain upward. It is during this period that Aquarius will finally embrace a new income model, where flexibility is more important than a fixed framework. July and August will bring a sense of freedom. The financial resources obtained will allow Aquarius to abandon commitments that no longer correspond to their vision. There will be an opportunity to work at their own pace, choosing projects based on interest rather than just profit. It is this freedom that will increase the financial flow, because Aquarius is most effective where there are no strict restrictions. September will open a phase of awareness, of influence. Aquarius will see that their ideas and decisions are beginning to affect not only their own income, but also the financial results of other people. This may manifest itself through mentoring, leadership roles, or participation in large systemic projects. Money during this period will come as a result of influence rather than direct action. October and November will bring a new level of responsibility. Aquarius will begin to manage more resources than before, and will feel the need for a structure that does not restrict freedom. It is during these months that a unique balance between chaos and order will be formed, allowing large sums to be held without losing control. The financial results of this period will strengthen Aquarius's position in the long term. December will be a month of summaries in an unusual format. Aquarius will evaluate not only financial indicators, but also how much their lifestyle, thinking, and interaction with the world have changed. 10 million in this context will become a symbol that freedom, ideas, and courage can take on a real material form. This will cement a new inner support and allow them to look to the future without fear of losing themselves. The period from February 2nd to 8th will be a point of entry into a new type of financial reality for Aquarius. Old patterns will not work here, but vision will. It is thanks to the ability to think ahead and not cling to the past that Aquarius will be able to realize the potential of a large sum and move to a level where money becomes a tool for realizing ideas, not an end in itself. Pisces. Between February 2nd and 8th, Pisces will experience a financial process of a different level of sensitivity, where the key role will be played not by pressure, structure, or experimentation, but by accurately hitting the flow. During this period, money will begin to form around Pisces gradually, but with a growing effect, as if reality itself is adjusting to their inner state. This is how the opportunity to receive a sum of up to 10 million will arise, without sudden movements or struggle. February will be a month of inner synchronization with the material world for Pisces. Already at the beginning of the period, there will be a feeling that it is no longer necessary to prove one's worth or try to fit into someone else's rules. From February 2nd to 8th, Pisces will act gently but confidently without going against themselves. It is this behavior that will lead to financial results that previously seemed unattainable. Money this week will come as a response to inner honesty. Financial opportunities will arise through situations where trust, reputation, a sense of the right moment, and the ability to read emotional context are important. Pisces will not act logically in the classical sense, but their decisions will prove to be accurate. A large sum will be formed where others did not dare or did not feel the moment. The ability to wait and not force events will be the main advantage. March will bring the first tangible results. What began to take shape as potential in February will take material form in March. Income, winnings, a financial offer, or a change in status. Pisces will feel that they are no longer swimming against the tide, but moving with it. This will change their inner state and reduce the tension that has long accompanied the financial sphere. April will be a month of acceptance. Pisces will allow themselves to accept a large resource without feeling guilty or afraid of loss. It is during this period that a new attitude towards money will emerge, not as a threat to stability, but as an opportunity to create comfort and security. This inner acceptance will become critical to maintaining the result. In May, the theme of realization will be activated. The finances or opportunities obtained will begin to be used practically for development, improving quality of life, and supporting important areas. Pisces will not spend money chaotically, but they will not be overly restrained either. The balance between pleasure and utility will allow them to maintain harmony and multiply their resources. June will show that financial stability can be quiet. Pisces will feel that they no longer need drastic changes or loud proof of success. Money will work in the background, providing a sense of security. It is during this period that additional income is possible, which will strengthen the results of February and make them long-lasting. July and August will bring emotional relief. Pisces will begin to live at a pace that suits them, without a constant feeling of scarcity. The financial flow will allow them to reduce the pressure of obligations and focus on what brings them pleasure. It is in a state of calm that Pisces will be most productive. September will open a phase of awareness of their own value. Pisces will see that their sensitivity and ability to feel processes are not weaknesses, but financial advantages. New opportunities will arise where these qualities will be highly valued. This may manifest itself in creative, consultative, or intuitively oriented fields, where the reward will correspond to the level of influence. October and November will bring stable consolidation. Pisces will stop worrying about the future and start planning without fear. Financial decisions will be made calmly and with confidence. It is during these months that it will become clear that the February breakthrough was not accidental, but inevitable. December will be a month of internal reflection. Pisces will evaluate not only the amount, but also how much their sense of life has changed. In this context, 10 million will become a symbol of permission to live without constant struggle. This will cement a new reality in which money does not destroy the inner world, but supports it. The period from February 2nd to 8th will be a turning point for Pisces, where the material and the inner will cease to conflict. Financial success will come without violence against oneself, without betraying one's own feelings. It is thanks to this integrity that Pisces will be able to enter a phase of great abundance without losing themselves or changing their nature.